We're in week 14 of 17 in the regular NFL season, and each week I pick the brains of sports anchors and experts from all over the country. This week we're joined by Greg Wolf in Los Angeles. How's it going over there in LA?
Good. Actually, I have an umbrella for the first time in a long time, which I needed today. So we're usually not used to rain, so I'm prepared.
Lots of rain. It's a little bit of a change up in the weather. Maybe a little bit of change up in the matchups this week, too. Teams in the NFC, two teams in the NFC meet in this week's probably most anticipated matchup. It's the San Francisco 49ers traveling to New Orleans. 49ers coming off a soupy, similar to what you're experiencing now, but soupy, disappointing loss to the Ravens. And the 10-2 Saints are riding a 3-game winning streak. Who are you picking for this matchup?
Yeah, this is, the 49ers coming to the end of this gauntlet they've gone through where they've played 3 teams who are first in their division. I think we learned as much, if not more, about this 49ers team as we did in that loss on the road in Baltimore, as we did over that signature win of their season when they beat the Green Bay Packers. This team went toe-to-toe with Lamar Jackson and Baltimore, and as you mentioned, those awful conditions back east, and they slugged it out with that football team, and they were right there. Possible Super Bowl preview for this team. I think we learned a lot about them, that this team is for real. I think what the 49ers are going to need to happen, though, is Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to step up. He's going to have to make plays this Sunday on the road in New Orleans. Defensively, for San Francisco, they're second in the NFL with 45 sacks on the season. Drew Brees is 40 years old. That offensive line has been very, very good, and Brees is great about getting rid of the football fast, but they may be down both Teron Armstead and Andres Pete on that offensive line. So I think that could be a big difference in this football game. I think that 49ers defense is going to make their presence felt, and I think the 49ers get the win.
Up next, the Los Angeles Chargers are meeting the Jaguars Sunday. An important development this week. Jacksonville plans to start rookie quarterback Gardner Minshew this week. So who do you pick for this one?
This Chargers season has been so frustrating because this team has so much talent, and all 8 losses for the Chargers have been by a touchdown or less. It could have been a very different season for this football team. I was really surprised their defense didn't answer the call in Denver. They're facing a quarterback who's never played in this league before, in Drew Lock, and they lose that football game. So that surprised me a little bit. Phillip Rivers is just been really loose with the football. He's had 8 interceptions now over the last 3 games. Outside of Jameis Winston, he has more picks than anybody in the league this season. But to me, the Chargers just have too many offensive weapons. I think it's an important game for Phillip Rivers. I think he's going to play a lot better. But also their running attack. Melvin Gordon has really showed up over the last 4 weeks of the season. Austin Eckler is very effective, really as a pass catcher as well, but out of the backfield for this football team. I think Gardner Minshew, as you mentioned, coming in, stepping in, he's going to start for them the rest of the year. Could give them a little bit of a spark, but I think the Chargers just have too much.
Greg, let's talk about the Tennessee Titans and the Oakland Raiders. Both these teams have a lot on the line to play for. So close to the postseason. Who are you going with?
This is 2 very different football teams right now. The Raiders, to me, they've been outscored 74-12 over the last 2 weeks of the season. And they had everything to play for in that game in Kansas City. They were fighting for a share of that division lead. They just don't have the weapons right now, I don't think. John Gruden said it a couple of weeks ago. We're in a rebuilding mode, is what he said. They have a lot of, not just young players that they're counting on to help them win football games, but they're counting on a lot of rookies as well. Josh Jacobs, to his credit, has been exceptional. I think him, along with Kyler Murray, 2 frontrunners for NFL Offensive Player of the Year. But I just think this team doesn't have the veterans that you need to win right now. The Titans, I think this is a team that's really exciting. Ryan Tannehill's 5-1 since he's replaced Marcus Mariota. And it's not just that he's come in and he's given this team a spark. He's been sensational. He's been a top 5 quarterback since he's come in as the starter in virtually every statistical category. The Titans are number 1 in the red zone in scoring offense since he's taken over as well. Derrick Henry, of course, is their workhorse, back-to-back seasons now with over 1,000 yards. 3 straight weeks now for Derrick Henry. He's had 145 yards or more in a touchdown, just the 5th player in NFL history to accomplish that. So I think they see this game against the Raiders as a must-win.
Finally, the Los Angeles Rams are hosting the Seattle Seahawks this week. The Rams lost to the Seahawks earlier this season. Is this a revenge match for them, or can Seattle really boost its position in the playoffs?
Seattle is one of the best teams in the league right now. I think, last week for the Rams, I thought that was one of the most important games of Sean McVay's coaching career. This team obviously was coming off that blowout loss to the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Did this team still have any fight left in them? They're still playing for the playoffs. And I think it was so huge, not just for McVay, but also for Jared Goff. He went the entire month of November without throwing a touchdown. So for him to throw for over 400 yards, go for a couple of touchdowns was huge for this offense. Russell Wilson didn't have his best game in that win against Minnesota, but the thing about him, he shows up when it counts, and when the game's on the line in the biggest moments on the biggest stage, that's when he delivers and he's at his best. So I just think the Seahawks, they've won 5 in a row. They have not lost on the road all season long. With Russell Wilson in prime time, I think the Seahawks get the win.
Greg, thank you so much for joining us today and for giving us your expertise on all of this week's matchups. And of course, you can catch even more matchups from across the NFL as the season progresses. We still have a couple weeks left, right? And we'll make sure to pick out a couple winners each week for you right here on your CBS local website. Katie Johnston for CBS Local Sports.